When Family Feels Entitled to Your Money by AfroBudgetinGirl. This content is for informational purposes only and reflects my personal experience. It's not financial advice. This discussion did not start with celebrities. It started with real life, where requests from people we love can quietly damage relationships, trust, and emotional safety. What followed was a deeper realization. This issue is not about amounts. It is about entitlement to someone else's success. Whether you are a global athlete or simply earning more than the people around you, the pattern is the same. The high-paid perspective, when success stops belonging to you. At the highest level, financial entitlement is visible and publicly documented. Zimbabwean UFC fighter Themba Gorimbo, in an interview with CNN's Larry Madowo on African Voices, spoke with striking honesty about why he cut ties with his family. "My family feels entitled. They feel like my success is their success." That's the word, entitlement. He went further. "I love my family from far. If I keep talking to my family members, I will not achieve my goal." And on financial pressure, we are blackmailed that we cannot say no. The black tax is real. We cannot say no to somebody asking for money. Despite becoming the first Zimbabwean to win a UFC fight in 2023, success did not bring relief. It brought expectations. Nobody in Zimbabwe supported me, including my own family. I had this dream by myself. This is a powerful example of how family pressure becomes part of your financial ecosystem, whether you choose it or not. When entitlement turns public, the GloRilla example. This pressure is not limited to athletes like Themba Gorimbo. It is now unfolding publicly with rapper GloRilla. The Memphis-born artist has recently been at the center of online backlash after a family member accused her of not providing enough financial support. The claims focus on everyday needs, rent gaps, small loans, basic expenses. But the underlying message is familiar. Because she succeeded, she is expected to carry everyone else. What makes this especially telling is GloRilla's background. She has been open about growing up in extreme poverty with 9 siblings, sleeping on air mattresses in church pews, and living in a hotel with her father. Through music alone, she built a career that lifted her out of those conditions. Yet once success arrived, the narrative shifted. One person made it, so everyone should benefit. The details may differ, but the pattern is the same. Success becomes communal property, boundaries are questioned, and private family dynamics turn into public entitlement. Tony Parker in the podcast Fracture. Former NBA champion. Tony Parker shared a similar reality on the podcast Fracture. When money arrives, some people think everything is normal. Giving 10,000 euros, taking a private jet, as if it's owed. Parker explains why he learned to say no and why he stayed grounded early in his career to build a base before giving, not because he lacked generosity, but because unstructured giving destroys foundations. What these stories reveal. Despite different careers, the message is identical. Success becomes collective. Boundaries become negotiable. Money becomes accessible by default. And here is the misunderstanding that causes the most damage. Earning money does not mean you have money. You still pay taxes, rent, or a mortgage, bills, long-term investments, future planning. Higher income does not erase reality. It increases responsibility. The everyday reality. You're the rich one. Here. Now remove fame. You do not need to be a UFC fighter or an NBA champion to experience this. In many families, pressure falls on the person earning in euros or dollars, the one living abroad, the one with a stable job, the one earning more than the room. Suddenly, you are the rich one. Not because you are wealthy, but because someone else earns less. This is where entitlement quietly starts shaping your money decisions, often without your awareness. Earning money does not mean you have money. Your income is not your savings. Your salary is not your availability. Your earnings are not your freedom. When you give under pressure, you try to build, you get delayed, you get financially pulled backward. More income, more entitlement, not more education. A common belief is, if I give them access to my money, they will understand money. Access does not create education. It does not teach planning, boundaries, sustainability. Instead, it can reinforce dependency. Money decisions do not exist in isolation. They are shaped by people, pressure, and expectations. When the same pressure exists at a lower salary, entitlement does not disappear at lower income levels. It becomes more dangerous. You may still be perceived as rich simply because you earn more than others, while your margin for error is smaller. This is how financial pressure turns into emotional strain, and why money conversations are often hardest with people we love. The mental health cost of financial accessibility. Constant financial expectation can lead to anxiety around money, guilt when saying no, stress before family interactions, burnout disguised as generosity. When money pressure intersects with emotional bonds, the cost is rarely visible but deeply felt. Why budgeting with purpose is about protection. Budgeting with purpose is not just about tracking expenses. Budgeting is not about saying no to others. It is about saying yes to sustainability. Success is not the absence of limits. Income is not an obligation. Generosity should never cost you your health. Whether you are a public figure or the highest earner in the room, you are allowed to build without being drained. You are allowed to earn without being owned. You are allowed to say no without explaining your entire life. That is not selfishness. That is budgeting with purpose. For more reflections and practical insights on money, visit the full article on AfroBudgetinGirl. Share your story in the comments. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It helps more people find us. If this resonated with you, explore my free budgeting tools, including a tracker and 200-question workbook, on my website, and subscribe for early access to the Budgeting with Purpose Masterclass. Because budgeting isn't just about money, it's about clarity, resilience, and choosing freedom over fear.